How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks. We focus on one thing: always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SNDL Sundial growers. I know it's been a minute, but I want to make sure I give you guys an update. We've been seeing a lot of volatility in the market, stocks pulling back, SNDL being one of them, and I want to make sure you keep this opportunity on your radar. So, won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SNDL Sundial growers. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at 51 cents, being down 1.27%. On the low, it tested 49 cents, and then on the high, testing 53 cents. When we take a look at our volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 62.665 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 96.561 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, and it's part of the reasons why we saw a slight pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 44.18. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So one of the things that I want you guys to pay attention to, if we have a pullback inside of the market, then I want to see if SNDL could hold up 47 cents. I feel this is a very key level. If it breaks through 47 cents, and there's a high likelihood it will start testing back at 40 cents, what we saw before back in January. And as far as for the bullish case scenario, I want to see SNDL come back to reclaim the 21-day EMA at 54 cents. It did see 53 cents on the high for Friday, so reclaiming 54, I don't think it's too much to ask. And then I'd want to see us get above the 50-day, which is right around 55 cents, or we could just chalk it up and call that around 56 cents. Very doable goal for SNDL. They do have earnings that is coming up on April the 5th, so that's a good amount of time away. So if it wants to continue to consolidate, that is not too bad either, but most preferably I'd want it consolidating above 50 cents. So let's see how it performs for this coming week. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SNDL. So as we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings, we have here for February 23rd, Just Invest LLC that purchased 14,084 shares. And we also see for the 17th, Virtu Financial LLC that purchased just under 1.4 million shares. And we also have Zulo Investment Group Inc. that purchased 200 shares. And then when we look at for the 15th, we have Parametric Management Limited that purchased 69,415 shares. And we also have Change Path LLC that purchased 14,560 shares. And you could also see as we go further back, institutions have been showing interest, most notably ETF Managers Group Inc. for February the 14th that purchased just under 30 million shares. And also Gotham Asset Management LLC that purchased just under 1.3 million shares. So now as we scroll back up, I want to show you guys the chart very quickly. You could see institutions have been loading into SNDL, as you can see from this strong spike right here. So that'll be good for long-term investors to know. And then when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 46.95%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just under 21 million shares. Scrolling down even further, the short shares availability availability is at 1.3 million, updated 28 minutes ago. And then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 11.15%. And then when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 24th, it was at 41.87. And then for the close of the 25th, being at 46.95. So what this shows us, SNDL does continue to have short squeeze potential. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SNDL. So we see here on the inflow, it's at 10.05, and then on the outflow, it's at 10.23. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 6.61. And then on the small, it was 3.44. Keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. Taking a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 0.21. On the medium, it was 6.80. And then on the small, it was 3.22. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see we had an outflow for February the 25th and as well as for the 24th. We also did see this on the 22nd and as well as for the 18th, but we did have a big time inflow day on the 23rd of just around 659,300. And then when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 3.05%. So this is not too bad for a penny stock like SNDL. And the main reason being is it shows us many are holding on to their positions. But we do know there's a good amount of trading that happens day in, day out for this stock. And that's why we're seeing a good amount of stability in the stock, and it continues to trade within a tight range. So now let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for SNDL, when it comes to the price action, I just want to see us being able to hold up 45 cents. If we continue to see pullbacks inside of the markets and there's more weakness, that's where we could start getting back down to those lows where we touched around 39 cents. So when it gets to those particular levels, that's where I'm going to start accumulating and buying up some more shares. Even in the 40-cent range, that is not too bad whatsoever. But with the volatility in these markets, you will get the price that you want if you are willing to stay patient. And as far as for strength and a reversal, I'd want to see SNDL get up to at least 55 cents and then seeing where it could go up from there. We also have to take into consideration it is in an undervalued sector in regards to cannabis. So the moment we get that legalization on the federal level, there's a lot of upside in this play. And I know many of you know this because I've talked about this quite a bit in previous videos. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we do see institutions have been showing some interest in the stock and have been loading up on shares. Plus, on top of that, it does have short squeeze potential. So knowing this, that's why we need some more buying volume coming into the stock. But I do understand with the current times that we're in, as far as for retail investors, they're not really trying to have their money in the market like that. When it's pulling back and when it's going down, that's actually the best time for you to get into some plays. But many people just want to get into the stock when it's already running up. But the great thing about it is we did have some buying that was happening on Friday from the retail side. So we do know, considering how the market has been, there is some demand there, but I want to see a lot more of it. And the only way that's going to happen is until we see some more stability inside of the markets. I, for myself, I'm going to use it as an opportunity to get some cheap shares on the pullbacks. And that is why I say to do your homework and do your due diligence before you jump in any play. Because at least if it pulls back, you'll be confident enough to add to your position and ride that momentum up when things turn around. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how this stock performs for the coming week. We'll talk soon.